I'm Phil Baroni, and I'm here to introduce our next member of the representative in Congress from our district, Jeff Perry. This has been rehearsed. They had asked that I would ask you, Jeff, a couple of questions that I have.
All right.
And one of my questions is, part of it's a statement, and of course, I think on everyone's mind, the economy is the big thing. And we have felt it. You know, I started mill stores almost 53 years ago. We're a month shy of that. And all these years, we've expanded. Our business has grown. We've reached a point where we're not growing. We're in 5 states now. We have 14 stores, and we can't grow. We want to grow. We're trying to hold our own right now. There is a shortage of money in the customers that come in, and at mill stores, you can buy it unpainted and finish it yourself and save a lot of money. But even here, of course I had to get that in from mill stores. But, you know, I'm interested in Washington getting back to, and I know that you and I are very much aligned in our thinking, with less money staying in Washington and more staying in the hands of everyone, where they can decide what they want to do with it and spend it themselves. And that money trickles down to everyone else. The other question that I have, and again I know your feeling on this, and that's the reinstatement of the death tax. I mean, that's a very, very serious problem the way I see it. You know, I've worked for all of these years building a business and making some provisions through insurances to be able to pay some of the taxes. But should something happen today, and I have 6 children, they're all involved in some state of, not particularly this business, but our businesses. Wood business. You know, to keep it running, you look at where's the money coming from. If we have to pay an enormous amount to the government, both federal and state. And I've said enough. You go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you, Bill. And those questions actually set me up very well, and they weren't here.
No, they weren't.
Well, if you think about this race for Congress and the challenges that are facing our country, there are 2 different visions of what the federal government should be doing. And, you know, when we have elections, sometimes voters look at the 2 candidates and say, gee, you know, there's not a lot of differences between them. But that's not the case in this race. And so we can go back to what happened last week in Congress to show the clear difference between myself and the opponent and what I would do if I had if I was a member of Congress. For example, last week, Nancy Pelosi and her majority party left Congress. They adjourned for the year. And they adjourned with 2 very important things undone, or done, depending on your perspective, that Phil alluded to. First of all, they adjourned without doing anything to make our tax cuts permanent that were enacted in 2000 and 2001. And so you heard Phil. He built these businesses. He's a family guy. He's built this in part because he wants to provide for his family today, but he wants to give and leave a legacy for his kids in the future. And so because Congress failed to act, because Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats went home last week and didn't extend the tax cuts, I think they should be made permanent. Mr. Baroni and people like him are facing a 55, I'll say it again because it's hard to believe, a 55% inheritance estate, commonly called the death tax. That is the most un-American tax ever to be thought of. Certainly first enacted in 1916, and in 2000 and 2001, Congress got it right by gradually going to repeal it. This is the first year that there has not been a death tax. And so if Phil's thinking about investing in his business, if people like Mr. Baroni are thinking about adding capital, hiring new people, and they're thinking thinking about the legacy that they're going to be able to give to their kids and grandkids, many people, like Mr. Baroni, face that choice when they pass, and we know you're not close, Phil. We know you're not close. I didn't pick you because you're close. Many of the business people I talk to say, my family would have to sell my business, or they'd have to take a mortgage out to pay the estate taxes. It's just not right. And to be clear, here's a clear difference between my opponent and myself. I have pledged affirmatively to make the Bush-era tax cuts, as they're known, including the death tax, permanently repealed. It has no place in America. It doesn't create jobs. In fact, according to the Heritage Foundation, because this death tax is coming back, about 1.5 million jobs in the United States. This is a job killer. This is nothing more than a liberal policy designed to hurt and disincentivize people who are trying to build businesses and pass them on to families. That's just un-American, and it's a very clear difference between myself and my opponent. I also wanted to come here today and to announce something that's very exciting for the campaign. You know, we all get endorsements along the way, and certainly, you know, in the last few months you've heard about our endorsements of different elected officials and different groups. Well, today, probably the most significant endorsement in the campaign I'm proud to announce. And it's the most significant in the campaign because, as you know, this race, our concerns, either me as a candidate or you as taxpayers and people who are employed or looking for a job, as the case may be, sadly, it's all about jobs in the economy. It's all about small businesses creating jobs. And as you know, Phil, small business creates 70% of the jobs in this country. And so the biggest endorsement, I think, in this campaign is to be endorsed by the biggest group in the country who's concerned about creating jobs in the economy. So today I'm very happy to announce that the United States Chamber of Commerce has endorsed my campaign. And I believe, and they have stated, that they have done so not only because of this death tax issue and these other taxes that are going up. By the way, it's not just the death tax. Because Congress neglected to act, everyone's taxes are going up on January 1st. I don't care if you own the business, you work for the business, or you work down the street. Everyone's taxes in America are going up on January 1st because the majority party, led by Nancy Pelosi, decided to go home. And what do you think that's going to do to create jobs? It's going to hurt the jobs creation. And so it's not only my position on these issues of extending the tax cuts permanently, lowering our taxes, keeping spending low, reduce wasteful spending. It's because of my record of 8 years as a state legislator, fighting on these issues, fighting for the rights of small business people. We have a lot of challenges and a lot of tools that we need to give people like Mr. Baroni to be able to allow him to stimulate the economy. This administration and this House has been about giving stimulus money away to government, for government to create jobs, to giving it to favorable labor unions to create jobs. If we want to get our country back and turn our economy around, it has to be by the public sector saying, we have a job to do, but the private sector is the one that creates jobs. And this is a very clear difference between my opponent and myself, which was recognized by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I'm against Obamacare, he's for it. I'm against increasing your taxes, he's in favor of increasing your taxes. I want to do something on illegal immigration. I want to go down to Washington to keep our taxes low, reduce spending. There's some very clear differences, and I'm really proud that the United States Chamber of Commerce has recognized those differences and got behind us this morning. And so with that, I'll be happy to take any questions on anything we had to say about the announcement today of the U.S. Chamber, or anything about the tax policy, or what I do as a member of Congress, or could ask Bill a question. I'm sure he can give you a great deal on this beautiful set.
We have this fine customer that keeps us going. You see, it's fine. Give him a hand. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. You don't find that greetings in every store.
I want to thank you for coming. I appreciate my supporters being here to listen. I appreciate the gentleman spontaneously buying. We're not running out, so if anybody would like to chat with me privately, that would be great too. Thank you. Thanks, Bill, very much.
Thank you. reporting. Thank you.